Good afternoon, YouTube. This is man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Wrestling Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. It's been a long time since I talked about wrestling because, like I said, I don't watch it much anymore. Every now and then, I might see something like, Roxy going to WWE. The passing away of some wrestlers. But this is something we haven't been talking about much lately because I've been focused a lot on my bodybuilding and other things. This is the end, or supposedly the end, of one of the greatest wrestling legends of all time. And this is the last match for Ric Flair. And, as a kid, I grew up watching Ric Flair. He's the nature boy. The dirtiest playing the game. The captain of the Four Horsemen. I watched him over the years, growing up as a kid. And I thought he ended. A while back, he announced that he was going to make his last final wrestling match. And this is, like I said, Rick is 73 years old. And this is what I found about Rick. Rick has a pacemaker, like myself. And you got to think about it. A man 73 years old with a pacemaker, you got to be careful. But, this was promoted by the Jim Crockett Promotions. Jim Crockett Promotions has been gone for years ago because, Ted Turner bought them out. And, he turned into WCW. And, David Crockett, who is the son of Jim, he's one of the people who announced was at the press conference announcing. And, Rick was there and also his opponents, several other people. And, to see Rick, it just, as a kid, still reminds me of the days of watching, NWA and WCW when I was younger, especially the NWA days, when the Crockett family had it. But we know a while back, it was like, I think about a little over almost 18 years, almost 20 years since his last time he posted a fault. That was in WWE. It was still WWF, I believe. And he fought against Shawn Michaels. And Shawn hits him with his sweet chin music. And then he pins him. And then you think that was it. He was over for Rick. But then Rick goes over to Impact. At the time was TNA, and he wrestled there for a good bit. But Rick got to think about it. Even though he's that that limousine riding, hard drinking, champagne drinking, girl stealing son of a gun, and he's teaming up with a guy who he worked before. They know each other for years because Jeff Jarrett, JEFFJARRETT. And Jeff is a third generation promoter. He originally started TNA before they got taken out and pushed him out. And one time he was part of the Four Horsemen. And just a great opportunity. Both these men know each other. Their styles are just about similar. And this was held in Nashville, Tennessee, where Jeff's from. That's where he still lives. And Jeff, you got to think about it, Jeff's 55 years old. And he's in the Hall of Fame in WWE. And, and even now, he's still in decent shape. He could maybe, wrestle maybe a couple more years if he wanted to, but he's done. He's making his money on this promoter. So, he got a partner, and that is, he had to be a tag team because, we're fucking about stuff. So he got Andrade El Idolo. I forgot to say his name. Andrade, I'm going to say first name. It's got easier. And that's his daughter Charlotte's husband. He's a third generation professional wrestler. So that was his tag team partner. And Jeff's tag team partner is Jay Lethal. I like Jay Lethal. I think he's a great wrestler. He's one of these guys. Remember, back in the day, he was with TNA. Well, before he switched over to Impact, he was called Black Machismo. He was kind of like a black version of the Macho Man. And remember that time we did that thing with him and Ric Flair doing the woo, woo, and Jay his Ric Flair is just perfect. But and Jay was with RH, RH got shut down, and it's great to see Jay coming back. He's been wrestling with AEW. For a good bit. I'm always wondering why Jay never went to WWE. But you know how it is, being black and all that shit, it's just unfair. But, Rick, is a legend. I respect Rick, and it happened last night, the fight. I kind of forget about it till I saw it, posted when, this is one thing is, folks, sometimes you don't need to pay for these things that come on pay-per-view or streaming. Just wait till YouTube posts it. Somebody's always going to post it on, camera phones, something like that, post it. Hey, you may not get all the stuff because it was kind of a bit edited. You cut it for time. But Jeff carried on with his wife Karen Jarrett, and Karen is a little bit up there on the edge. I think some people talk about she looked to have more plastic on it than anything. And we had a nature boy. He had the music, dun 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 dun. He come out in a shirt because you gotta think about it, he's 73 years old. He ain't gonna be in the same shape he was 20 years ago. And he came out there, and the crowd were hollering, yelling. When they heard that his old theme music. It's just, it's just a great thing. It takes you back to the days of when you were kids and watching wrestling Saturday morning, actually Saturday afternoon after the cartoons, you know, and him and Jeff had a stare down. I mean, these two guys are legends. They've been all over from different organizations over the years and career, and pretty much it started out a little bit slow because you got to remember Ric Flair is 73 years old. And he can't be and that can't be like if it was like maybe 30 years ago, Ric Flair of old, maybe 40 years ago, it would probably be a good match. But pretty much, Rick was kind of slow. He did when he did signals of chops, especially on Jay Lethal. He was killing Jay with those chops. And and Jay pretty much he carried him a good bit because you know what, he respects Rick. They know each other for years. I mean, traveling the road and organization. Then at one point he gets knocked out of the ring, and Rick and pretty much Rick's famous for getting bloodied up. He was right in front of his daughter. Also, you see several other wrestlers. There was a lot of people there. There was also his girlfriend, and he gets back into the ring, and and Jay is look like he's about to finish him or whatever else. But then here comes Jeff Jarrett with the guitar, the signature move, the guitar. But he misses. He hits Jay, and that was just the end point of it. And Andrade hands Rick a pair of brass knuckles. He had to actually put them in his hands, and he hits Jeff with the brass knuckles and pinned him, and it was over. He put him he put him in the figure four lock. He did it to Jay, and then he also he did it to Jeff. Figure four. That was me. We used to do it. Me, my brothers, and my nephews used to do it on each other. That's a crazy move. And then it was over. The referee, the other referee was knocked out. So what happens? A substitute referee comes in and he counts to 1, 2, 3, and it was over. So and everybody was celebrating. Seeing Ric Flair in his last match. And the thing is, this was part of an event, and I think it was on Impact. There was a lot of other wrestlers that were under that. I think there was a bunch of I think it was Rock and Roll Express. They were saying their swan song, and a lot of other wrestlers. I think there was a freeway match between Jordan Grace and also Diana Taurasi and a couple of other wrestlers. It's just I saw it, I watched it, and as a fan growing up, as a kid watching Ric Flair growing up, it was just kind of but I enjoyed it. Just like I say, I don't watch wrestling much anymore because it really has fallen off over the years. And he goes out there. His one of his daughters there, his oldest daughter, Charlotte's sister. She was there. Also his girlfriend. He got divorced a while back. Also, he had a bunch of legends. You had Mark Calloway, aka the Undertaker, was there. Also, you had Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and you have the excellent execution there. Bret Hart, and even had DDP. DDP was there. And there's one point he gave me a match with a guy that Matt Coverdova guy. If you watched it, he gave him the diamond cutter. It was perfect. And DDP is 67 years old. He made his money from that whole DDP yoga thing. That's where his big money, part of his money now. And he that perfect diamond cutter. And you see Brett, you see Mick, you see Undertaker. Also Undertaker married to Michelle McCool. That's his wife. And I think Rick was just saying, what, he just want to try it one more time. And I think as us as wrestling fans, it was nice to see him. But still, I think Rick needs to think about it. He's 73 years old. I love Ric Flair. I'm gonna always love him. I think he's one of the most beloved anti-heroes in professional wrestling. And to come out there, 16-time champion, 16-time champion, multiple time, Hall of Famer. He has set records over his years. But like I said, this was supposed to be his final match. I hope it is. We don't want to see him 10 years down the road, 83, get in the ring with the grandson of Rock. You heard that the Rock, his daughter, started wrestling. So it's just it was and you got to leave it to the next generation. His daughter Charlotte. Right now I think Charlotte's taking a step back because I think she's trying to have a baby with her husband Andrade. So maybe we see it come back back in WWE and maybe keep a tradition. Maybe keep up the generations of wrestling. But like I said, this is the Ric Flair I want to remember. The man in the bright colored robes sitting out there and just taking it all in. Limousine riding, Space Mountain, flying, jet flying, champagne drinking, girl skiing, dirty dealing, son of a gun. who is a legend that I grew up watching with. And I know a lot of people were talking in comments, and a lot of people were disappointed with it. But the fact was, still the opportunity to see Ric Flair, even what he can do at 73 years old is amazing. And especially also, so again, I have a pacemaker, he has a pacemaker. And that tells you that all those years of hard drinking and everything else has put its toll on him. There's a sins of that sometimes. But like I said, Ric Flair is a legend, and I have a lot of respect for him. And like I said, I just, as growing up watching him on TV over the years, I just, like I said, this was just, I hope he finally says, I'm done. And just realize that, leave this sport to younger men. But much respect to Ric Flair, much respect to Rachel Boy for who he is and what he has done and what he has really proven himself to be as a legend and just one of those great men that we can never ever forget. And I'm gonna say one more time, this is woo, woo. Anyway, before I go out, I want to dedicate this because I hadn't done this in a while. I want to dedicate this video to my brothers X8Gucci23, Week to Watch, my brother the Coach, my sister Aficionada, who are true wrestling fans like myself. So shout out to them and shout out to the great, legendary Nature Boy Ric Flair. This is me all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Wrestling Talk. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out. Woo!